All right, welcome back to the Valkyries Courtside Report. We got a little bonus episode today, and we got a very special guest, Kenzo.
Oh
Very
yeah.
special. I think we got the king of Valkyries Twitter
Yes, sir.
in the building today. Jason Maples, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Once again, just want to thank you guys for having me. I'm honored to be here, man. King of Valkyries Twitter. That's a heavy title, but
Let, let,
I
let me let me
appreciate y'all.
let me say this too, man. Like Jason's been like, there's a lot of fans who got takes, but Jason got like, he's informed. He know ball. Like Jason, like you coach. I feel like I see like not only do I see you on Twitter, but like you coaching. You out there recruiting guys. Like
You're
tell us
honest is
about.
my thing is you're honest and like there's sometimes I see your tweets and I'm like, man, I would really like to like retweet that, but I probably should be a little less honest. So
Yeah, so I don't want you guys to lose your credential because of me. So
It's
don't do that.
it's funny because like Kenzo, I know Jason because I cover high school basketball. I know you're big in the community, Jason. Like I know a lot of people talk about you and from the coaches side. Um, Talk to us about like how you got into coaching and then how you got into this space where you're like this really prominent voice on like NBA, WNBA Twitter.
Man, so the coaching thing. So I played JUCO, Contra Costa College for a couple of years. Got a scholarship out of there. Played some D2 ball. I was at a fork in the road when I graduated. I was all conference. Had a couple of overseas tryouts, and then I was just at that point I just went into coaching back at the JUCO I coached it. I did that for 12, 13 years. Was a head coach at high school for a couple of years, and then went back to the college level. So just being in the same area that long, you develop so many relationships between the coaches you meet, the kids you coach who are grown. I got kids I coach who got kids now. Like it's crazy. So just seeing my community just built so organically, just from the kids I coached, the coaches I played for. Uh, you know, just growing in that space. Bay Area basketball is just I love being a part of the community, man. It's a tight knit community. I love being a part of it.
Yeah, it's definitely like, it's a very who's who, like,
Right.
everybody kind of know each other, right? I'm curious, like, I wanted to ask you about, like, obviously, I know, like, even our colleague Joseph Dykes, he knew you from, like, Lakers Twitter,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah,
like,
Lakers Twitter.
me and Kenzo kind of know you, like, as the Valkyries dude. Tell me when, like, you found, like, you found a love for the W, and, like, what was it like, kind of, when the Valkyries came through, like, how did that fandom all start out?
Man, I've always been a WNBA fan going way, way back. Like I'm aged myself, but my first favorite player was like Shamiqua Holdsclaw. We
Nice.
never I remember I had tweeted like a while back, like man, the Bay Area needs a WNBA team. I will get season tickets. And then just like thankfully it happened, man. And then I got season tickets the first year.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't get it the second year just because going from where I live to San Francisco 25 times a year is just it's tough. But
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go to a few games, but it's just hard doing. But I had to get season tickets at least once that first year. We're gonna try to do it next year, me and the family. But I'm so thankful that the Bay Area has a basketball as a women's basketball team. Like that's something I've been like asking for years. And I'm a big proponent of it. Just being coaching and training. I train a lot of girls. You know what I mean? So I train a lot of ladies. My daughter is getting into basketball, so just
Nice.
having the Valkyries to lean on and look at is just such a beautiful thing, especially for like the Bay Area should have a WNBA team. It's one of those hub type of markets that you need like a professional sports team in every league here. And I'm just so like thankful that they got one.
Yeah, it's crazy too, because like I feel like, and you're probably around to see this too. Like when I was going to like Warrior games, like you feel like it's hostile. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like the crowd, the fans are like starting to get to that point where it's becoming like last year, like it was packed, but like they don't really know how to like cheer
They're just
yet.
Yeah.
clapping for
So
everything.
for sure it's really I noticed it. It was the first Caitlin Clark came game at Valhalla this year. I was like, oh, we're
Yeah.
figuring it out. We're not just cheering for everybody who walked through here. So that's when I was like, okay, it's getting to the correct point in Baja. But I think everybody's just so happy to have a team. It was just a happy go lucky first year thing, and then second year it was like, nah, this is we gotta rep our house. But I still think even last year was one of the hardest places to play for an opposing team.
Oh
This year it
yeah.
is too kind of. So I think I love the home court advantage that they have. I think it's great. So I think that it's definitely one of the top two or three places to toughest places to play the W. I think just watching around the league, teams like it's a well over time trying to get a win at Valhalla.
For sure. Well, speaking of that indie game, there's a certain player that we want to get your take on that did pretty
Okay.
well in that game. I think we all know who we're kind of talking about here. Nathan wrote about it today, but Juste Jocyte, very intriguing player, very intriguing rookie.
Man.
Not getting playing time. We've talked about our takes about it, what we think's happening and going on there. But Jason, we'd love to get your perspective as a coach. What might be happening with Juste and why the Valkyries could use her, especially with the offense.
Well, I just think what's happening. I think the Valkyries, and they should. I think any team, like I can disagree, but they view themselves as a contender. I think they do. Like if you look at how they move, they view themselves as a contender. So a lot of young players don't get a lot of burn. Rookies don't get a lot of burn on teams that are contenders.
Right.
I respectfully disagree. I said it before the season what I think they were based on what the roster was, but they are running themselves as a contender. And in that case, a lot of young players don't get it. Like it's a lot of veteran heavy, like a lot of 25 plus, 30 plus players in the rotation that are just eating up a lot of minutes. And just because the team is moving like they believe it's a contender, which what you want from a team you root for. You never want them to just feel like we don't have a chance, but just I think in that aspect you can understand it. But then when you watch the game and like see what is lacking out there, it's Juste's perceived skill set. And I think just again, I'm a fan, I'm a Valkyries fan. I don't work on the coaching staff. I coach in my own little bubble, but I just think you would like to see her perceived skill set given a chance to operate, given that it's something missing.
Yeah.
I just think, that's kind of just how I look at it. Like, there's something missing with the offense. Like I saw like these charts are coming out. Second worst shot quality in the NBA. Most end of shot clock possessions. Those 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 shot clock possessions. Most shot attempts coming like within the last 5, 6 seconds of the shot clock. Like those are actual offensive problems that you have to address. And I think her skill set, pick and roll, ball handling, creating shots off the dribble, is just something that in theory would give a boost to the offense. You just like to see it play out given the struggles. Yeah. Also, the other thing is, I think I will say this. I did not believe in it, but I have to give props. I think Caitlin Chin has played really well. That's also kind of staved her up. I got to say that. Caitlin Chin's been great for the most part for what she's asked to do. I think she might be the second or third best driver on the team, but kind Tip and Veronica. I mean, getting Gabby too, but she's like in that upper level of drivers on the team. So she brings something to the table that's needed in the offense. But I remember watching games like I think she's playing well with their closing possessions with Caitlin Chin ISOs at Indiana. I was like, man, this is got to get.
You don't want that's not Caitlin Chen's great, but you don't want to like every possession with her.
And that's what I'm saying. I think part of that they were hunting Caitlin too. I think they just got kind of lost themselves trying to hunt Caitlin and just instead of running offense. But it's just even outside the Fever game, it's just I remember last year there was so much more movement.
Yeah,
it's a lot of ISO like in the shot. Part of it is I think the league gets hip to what you're doing, so I think that's part of it too. There's the league adjusts. Like it's nobody's surprised to play. I think the word is out, Valkyries. If you don't bring your A game, the Valkyries are going to punch you in the mouth. Like you have to play hard to beat the Valkyries.
Right.
So now that you're getting that effort from every team, like it's a dogfight every night.
It's interesting too because I know you're connected. Like I feel like the fans look at your takes and they go, "Oh, like whatever he says is gonna mean something, right?" I'm curious, like when you interact with fans on social, what are they saying? Like, how do they feel about this whole Juste situation? Because for like our end, like we get fed the information from Natalie and
right.
like kind of like what they're saying, but like they're for us, like we have to take emotion out of it. From your vantage point, like what do the fans who have so much invested emotionally into this, what do they feel about like trying to kind of like this weird little situation that's kind of going on right now?
Yeah, they just want to. I think Bay Area basketball fans are very smart. You know what I mean? So like they see the offensive struggles and they've seen Juste's overseas highlights and read her pre-draft scouting reports and like, hey, we got to give her a shot. The offensive struggle, like they want to see her play. Like, and if she's gonna fail, you don't think she's ready, like they at least want to see it. Like myself, like if you don't think she's ready, like give her a shot. I think that in the minutes that she has played, it's been productive. Like that home game against the Fever they won, she had the highest plus minus. She played the whole second half, like she was effective. She spread the floor. She made good decisions. She wasn't a liability on defense, and she had the highest plus minus I think in the whole game. And I think after that game, I think everybody anticipated that she'd be in the rotation, but it
Yes.
went backwards from there. And I was like kind of shocked. Like, did something happen? Is she not picking stuff up in practice? Is she not in shape? So those are the questions that came out. And I think, like I said, I love the Valkyries. Um, they are not the most transparent organization with their communication. I'll put it that way. So there's a state of confusion, like what's going on, and I love, like I said, love Natalie. Love. I think she's walked in top 2 or 3 coach in the W. Is just I understand coach speak with the stuff she says and the answers like that. I understand coach speak, like just just about the reps and getting her ready to be a point guard. I was like, okay, just say she's not ready, or you don't think she's ready.
Yeah.
But she's playing the political answer for the public.
Do you like the idea of converting Yuste to a point guard? Like, because we were talking about on the other pod, like Natalie usually is like for players on the especially on the podium, she's like, we want them to be themselves. We want them to play to their skill set, whatever. But with Yuste, it's kind of like we want her to be a point guard, which is completely different from what she's played in the past, like shooting guard and small forward. So, do you like the idea that they want to convert it to a point guard?
Well, I think um, the stuff I saw, I mean, she does a lot of point guard stuff anyway, so I'm not tied to just like she operates out of pick and roll like a point guard. Like her
Right.
decision making and her ability to get her teammates shots and make high level reads, like that is like point guard stuff in this dude. But maybe just what I read from that is like maybe the vocal side of it, kind of the leadership side of it, like being a floor general type. Maybe that's not what she's been. I think that
Mm.
takes a little bit of maturity and development, just getting used to your teammates. So from that aspect of it, I understand. But the stuff she's doing, like physically with her basketball skill and talent, has a lot of it has been point guard stuff. Like her number one, her highest skill, like the thing people have talked about is like she operates extremely efficiently out of pick and roll. Like
Right.
that is a point guard skill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jason, I think it's so interesting too. Like, there's this like kind of bigger conversation about the Valkyries, and I think there's some parallels to the Warriors a little bit in a sense.
I
But
know
like,
where you're going. I know where you're going.
it feels like, and someone brought this up in the writers' room. Like, do they just maybe not really want young players? Like, there's just a feeling of like there has to be a certain level of maturity, whether you were overseas, like since you were 13, 14 years
Right,
old and
right, right.
playing. And we kind of saw that, like, I know you had a lot of strong takes about Flauget and like what that whole decision. But when you look at it from like a bird's eye view, does it seem like, maybe they just are not really, they don't want to go the young player route? Like they really do think that they want to win right now?
Well, so you know, I think Joe said this maybe 10 times. He's like, "We're winning the championship within 5 years." You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That so when you put that on an organization, it shifts your decision making, right? So I think that's kind of the foundation. Like we have to win it. Like not we have, but the ownership wants a championship within 5 years. Um, what I don't like is like my thing is I think Flauget is going to be a very good player. Like, she's struggling to see out, but that's a bunch of young they got a bunch of 21, 22, 23-year olds
Yeah.
playing. So she's gonna be swimming underwater all her rookie season. But what I saw was like a skill set. Like she can attack off the bounce. She can score. I think those are things that the Valkyries were lacking. I think if you mix some youth with your veteran IQ and experience, you can put together a high level competitive, a high level championship level team if you mix it. So that's kind of where I stand. But I think they're just like, we got to get vets, players know how to win now. And I think that's driving a lot of the decision making.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because like you look at like that window, that 5 year window, and you kind of
Right.
I wrote about like how you compare it to like when the Warriors had, it's the same, they had the same issues, like when you had Steph, like the first I think it was 2010 when Lake bought the team, but like all those years before, and they had Steph, and they kind of had like this weird, like, can they score? But like once they got the defense and they got the vets along with the young players, you get Clay, it's
Yeah.
like you kind
Yeah.
of have like you have a real team. But like it's interesting too, with the way that they've built the roster. I mean, how much do you think uh their that window, that 5 year like pressure, like from Joe, like do you think that's really driving them, or like from your perspective, from like the fan perspective, is how do you guys look at like the way those goals are set from an ownership perspective?
I get that ownership wants to win. Um, And I think that's what it comes from. Like I think Joe, it comes from a great place. Like he wants to put
Yeah.
a competitive product on the floor. And that part I appreciate about Joe because most majority of owners, they are in this for money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody's in it for money, but I think Lacob, like you get this, like Lacob really wants to win. And I know a lot of Warriors. I am not a Warrior fan. I know a lot of the Warriors fans' complaints about Joe is he's too hands-on the basketball side, without necessarily having the kind of like the know-how or the experience to do so. Um, I don't know. There's nothing that says he's been doing that for the Valkyries, but I just think when you put that label like we're winning in 5 years, it definitely drives decision making because when you say we're winning in 5 years, if it doesn't happen, you assume jobs are going to be lost.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that definitely drives your decision making. So on draft night, you trade your number 8 pick for a second pick that you don't keep and then cap space down the road, which any other pro league, you're going to look at the GM funny, which is why I was like, if you any league, you say, hey, we're trading a first round pick for a second round pick that we're not sure we're keeping. They ended up cutting her and then she didn't want to be in a developmental contract here. And then a second in 2029 or 28, whatever it was. I was like, you make that trade in any professional league, you're going to get looked at funny. So I think, I think the window's definitely driving the decision making. Like everything they're doing says it's driving the decision making. Leaning into vets, not so like Juste was a top 5 draft pick. Like they're not. This is her. She's put the first year over there, but they're not putting any emphasis on her like getting her on court reps. Like everything they're doing says like they're trying to win as soon as possible.
Narrowing the focus of the 5-year window to this year,
right?
What are your expectations for this Valkyries team? We've gotten a good sample size of how they look against good teams, against bad teams. Yeah. As of late. What do you think they can accomplish? Yeah.
Before the season, I said 8 seed. I think it's anywhere from that 6 to 8 range.
Yeah.
They can't score enough to compete consistently with that 1 through teams that are like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like even I think Dallas can score.
Yeah.
So like that was like that. So that it's that Dream, Liberty, Aces, Lynx, Wings. I just
even the Fever, they give them a hard time still.
The Fever. I mean, just the Fever, like they just. I think whatever offensive woes the Valkyries have, they're exacerbated on the road. Like the road Fever game, they just couldn't score when they needed. They just couldn't get a bucket. They got them at home, but they just couldn't score until like they're in that same. I think they're in that same window as the Fever, like that second tier level team. Can get frisky if they're catch them on the right night, but in a series, it's hard to see them beating those upper echelon teams. They just don't have the offensive capability to do it. But I love I feel so bad because I love like the way these ladies play. Like they're hard, they play hard, they're scrappy. Like it is easy to root for the ladies on this team. Like it is so like every night they are playing their hardest. I watched Veronica like the last couple of weeks. Like she is doing so much on both ends because they need her to make the offense get into something. And then like she is so tired by the end of basketball game. Like, you can see like her shooting is like taking a big dip. Like her just overall because she's just tired. She's taking so much of a burden on both ends. Like she does not take a rest. And you love that about her. She just needs some help initiating the offense. But you stay.
To do that. Yeah.
It's funny because like we talked about like even Kayla Thornton has taken kind of a back seat like from our All-Star year because they had to really dig down defensively and find, something that works on that end. But you bring up a good point with VB. I do want to get to this. It's like they have like this really interesting backcourt, I think, with Veronica as like this two-way, pass first point guard. But then you also got Gabby, who's like, it feels like she's coming into her own, probably going to be more than likely going to be an all-star this year. Yeah. What do you think about just kind of like that pairing and what that sets up for maybe like another, the future of the Valkyries and what they could do in like the next 2 to 3 years?
I mean, I love it. I mean, I think those are just two dogs. They're going to get after you every night. And I got to say, Gabby is showing me things offensively I didn't know she had in her package. Yeah. Like, the 3 balls come a long way. She's legitimately a 3-level scorer. Like she got a nice mid-range pull up. She gets to the cup at will. There's not 5 athletes in the league, not 3 athletes in the league that are more athletic than her. Like I love watching Gabby every night. It's a little like redundancy like with her and Veronica, but I think overall it's a plus. It's one of the better backcourts in the league. Um, I think an underrated aspect. I think and always family first, but they miss Ileana bad. The
Yeah.
spacing, like if you can have her on the court with Gabby and Veronica getting to the bucket, just having to respect a high 30s, low 40s 3-point shooter as opposed to you know I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Who's the girl they got from the Aces? I'm so
Oh, Kia Stokes.
Yes.
yeah, Kai. So like, who's like who's a fine, but they bought her and think she's going to be a backup center,
Yes.
and she's having to start. So I think she's got kind of she's over her head some nights, but they really miss Ileana, like the spacing that Ileana would provide. So I think that's another aspect that's kind of been underspoken. But she's becoming a mother, which is a beautiful thing. I want to wish her all the best. Just saying like that's just a different separate aspect of what they are missing, like her spacing that she provided. Like it was a really big thing last year.
They definitely miss her just because like
Yeah.
they don't. It's forcing them to play them small ball units
Yes.
that are gassing out
Yes.
Ja and KT, and then like I think LA should probably get more playing time because of that. I think you've been on that too. Like LA needs to play a little bit more.
Yeah, it's just yeah, I don't I think what's LA is like she's a tweener between a 4 and 5, but she's not necessarily a shooter.
Yeah,
So I think that kind of limits what because she's got to be a small ball 5 because she's not really a shooter. So I think it's tough, but I love LA. I'm always I wonder what went into that. Like has Natalie said anything about why her minutes have dwindled or just kind of like a numbers thing? I don't know what she said.
It's mostly we talked to her about it. I mean, it's mostly like match. Her explanation is more matchup based, but
Oh,
it did feel like she just likes my theory is if we're gonna sacrifice like offense at the
yeah,
five anyway, let's just put our best five players out there rather than
right.
and kind of maybe sacrifice a little bit of that defense and let's see if we could just outscore people and kind of hope KT figures out how to like guard bigs, but. Yeah, I mean it's interesting like to be asking about the rotation to see like how much they've been so on it early this year, right? It does feel interesting on that end. But yeah, what do you think so far about Natalie? I mean, Natalie I've said that she's been the
the
star of the
star. She is
team.
the star. Yeah.
But how do you kind of see like even as a guy who is coaching, like how do you see Natalie and what she's been able to do in this like year and a half that she's taken over?
Yeah. So I will say this: you guys have just follow me on Twitter. Like my most hated type of discourse on Twitter is coaching discourse because it's the most. Nobody's in practice.
Yes.
Like we're not in the team meetings. We're not watching film. We're not seeing what they're calling. It's the hardest thing to quantify, but it's the first thing everybody complains about whenever a team. It's absolutely hilarious. We have the least amount of information about, but it's the most complained about thing. Soon as a team hits to any type of rough, it's so hilarious and infuriating. But the barometer for me on the outside looking in is one, the efforts there every night, which shows me every player is bought in,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
then two, I look at the bench, everybody's cheering for everybody. That's another marker that, the culture is good. And I think and overall, just the Valkyries never mail a game in. I've never really felt a Valkyries game. Like, even like the last game they got blown out, I think they just really struggled offensively. I didn't feel like they nailed the effort in. You
Yeah.
understand? I very rarely have left the Valkyries game like, they just really didn't want to play tonight. And I think
Right.
those three markers show us that Natalie's doing a fantastic job. Like, we can nitpick about the but as far as like the culture aspect of it, I I just think
Yeah.
everybody's bought in. We can nitpick at what we see offensively, like from rotations wise, but culture wise, I have no complaints whatsoever.
If you were to nitpick the offense, what would you nitpick about the offense?
See, it's tough for me. Like, I think the offense it's a personnel thing. Like, they
Right.
just don't have the players to. So, I think for every championship team, you need to have a player like 10 seconds on the shot clock. We need to be able to go to you and get a foul or a bucket, like consistently.
Right.
I just don't think they have that. I think Gabby, it's like she's not at every night. I think Gabby's like, if she's your second best player, you're a contender.
Right.
I think she's the best player right now. I think if she's your second best player, you're not really. You're a really good team or a solid team. I don't think they're a solid team like the Valkyries are, but I just think they need to play like a Asia Wilson, Nafisa Collier, Olivia Miles, like those type of play, like Alicia Gray, like those names. Like, hey, we're struggling right now. We need you to get us these next 5 possessions. We need to get like 3, 4 good shots, get somebody a layup, get fouled. Like they don't have that caliber of player. And I was hoping, selfishly, that the Lynx would bottom out this year with everybody gone. And, Fee's going to be a free agent. I was hoping like that would just be a thing, but they drafted Magic Johnson. So
they're not going nowhere.
I don't think
that's what I was like, they drafted Magic Johnson. So, they're going to be a contender as long as Olivia and Fee are on the floor. Like I'm kind of scared of that team once they get feedback into the mix. But I just think they need to end the shot clock player or just an offensive hub. Like we're struggling right now. We need you to pick up the slack these next 4 or 5 minutes. I think that's like a real superstar offensively.
Yeah. No, so I want to close out on this, Jason, because I mean, just for the people, like I said, for the people who don't know, like you've been in the basketball community for so long. Like I've known about you even before I got this job. They were talking about, oh, Jason, like go talk to Jason about it. I'm curious. Like I will end on this. You've played obviously for a long time. Then you went and you coached. I want to know who was the first player that, like, I guess this is like a basketball pod question, but who was the first player to like kick your butt? And who was the first player as a coach that you just went up and we can't do nothing about that. Like,
I have an answer. I have an answer for both. So I remember. Do you remember DeMarcus Nelson? I'm aging myself. He went to Duke out of Vallejo High School.
Yes, I do.
So he had transferred to Sheldon, and I was a damn good defender. Like I got my scholarship because I played defense, and I just remember playing in high school. I was like, he is going to the league. Like it was such a tough match. He was just so damn strong at 17, 18 years old. And then as a coach, you guys remember Darrell Wright?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So he went to City College for a year before he went to Utah and got drafted by the Mavericks. So we played him in the playoffs. And we had the number 4 defense in the state. And I remember watching the game. And they beat us up pretty good. City was number 1 team in the state. I remember him going through like we were number 4 defense in the state, and he was going like looked like a cone drill out there. And he's in the NBA. He's a rotation guard, right, in the NBA. He's a back rotation guard, and he was at JUCO he looked like Kobe Bryant mixed with Allen Iverson out there. And I say that to say there is like levels to this basketball game, like. The real right, it looked like Kobe mixed with Allen Iverson. Like he was just bucket, try to trap, split the pick and roll, go underneath, knock the 3. And I was like, he is doing anything he wants out here. And he, and it's levels out here, folks, in this basketball thing. That's like a back end rotation NBA player.
He was good on 2K. I remember him on 2K. You just put him in the corner. He just nailed everything.
He wouldn't miss. Y'all
Hey, also, I want to shout out DeMarcus Nelson too. I wrote a story about DeMarcus Nelson when he came back to Vallejo a couple years ago. I mean, that dude was a dog. I mean, you talk to people around like the Vallejo, Richmond area about DeMarcus Nelson, like that he's the truth. So
yeah, so I grew up in that era where the guards were ridiculous. So Allende Ubaka, I went to Cal. Antonio Kellogg went to UConn.
Yep.
Tim Pierce went to Arizona State. It was just like that whole OAL, and then that Vallejo. It was a bunch of guards. Mondo Sarant went to Florida. Just like that Bay Area, like those are the guards I grew up playing against in high school. So like that golden era I grew up in, like it was a bunch of them. But Markey was the hardest cover because he was just so strong. Once he got you on the hip, it was over. Once she got you on the hip, it was over.
Well, Jason, I gotta thank you for coming on the pod, man. We were trying to set this up for a minute. We was trying to figure out, all right, who's gonna be our first guest, like our first like real guest for these bonus episodes, and I knew exactly who I wanted to ask. So I'm glad that we got this going. We appreciate the takes too, man. Like me and Kenzo, I think we talk about it a lot. Like what is Jason gonna say after this game? Let's see what he says. Then we know what the fan base thinks.
Right.
Yeah, man. I just I love the Valkyries, man. At the end of the day, I want to see them win. So it's all passion out of love. Like I said I hope I don't get your credentials revoked.
If you do, you can take our
But,
place, man. Maybe we get you a credential. We get you in there. Ask Natalie some questions.
Oh
We'll
oh,
see.
that's
yeah,
funny.
I'd like to see
Uh,
that.
but yeah, we appreciate y'all listening in. Remember to subscribe. We're gonna have this bonus episode up pretty soon, and we'll have a lot more of these. A lot of people like Jason will be on the pod in the coming weeks. So thank you again, Jason, and we will see y'all on Wednesday against Atlanta.